Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're gonna talk about the Battleline choices for the upcoming Lumineth. We're going to focus on the 3 Vanari units, starting with the Vanari Units, the Spearmen. What we know about them is they cost 120 points for 10 models for a max unit size of 30. They have 1 wound, a 4+ save, bravery 6 and movement 6. 2 attacks with 3-inch ranges for the pikes. They hit on 3s, wound on 4s. The champion has -1 to rend with a sword and 1 damage. As for the special rule, once per game at the start of the combat phase, the unit champion, the High Warden, does D3 mortal wounds to an enemy unit within 3 inches on a 2+. 6s to hit with their sun metal weapons do mortal wounds instead of the normal damage. And if you attack something that has charged you this turn, you get +1 to wound and -1 to rend against this enemy unit. And if that's not enough, the High Warden is a wizard as long as there are at least 5 models in the unit. He can cast 1 spell and try to unbind 1 spell in the enemy hero phase. Their special spell is Power of Hish. Power of Hish has a casting value of 6. The unit deals mortal wounds on an unmodified hit roll of 5+ instead of the 6. Next in line are the Vanari Dawnriders. 5 of them cost 130 points for a max unit size of 20 models. They have 2 wounds, a 4+ save, bravery 7 and movement of 14 inches. They have 1 attack, the champion has 2, 2-inch range, champion has 1 if he chooses to fight with the sword. They hit on 3s, wound on 4s, and the champion again has a -1 to rend with the sword and 1 damage. The steeds have 2 attacks with 1-inch range, hit and wound on 4+ and deal 1 damage with no rend. The special rules are as follow. The standard bearer lets you reroll battle shock tests. So at the start of the combat phase, you can say that this unit will use its Deadly Furrows ability. If you do so, you get +1 attack, but only against non-mounted units with 1 wound or 2s. Or you get 2 attacks, but only again against targets unmounted with a wound value of 1. Additionally, you get +1 to wound and -1 to rend on a charge with the lances. The champion again has to choose if he fights with the sword or the lance. The weapon special rules and the spell is just like with the wardens, except that the unit has to contain at least 3 or more models so that the Steedmaster counts as a wizard. Our next unit are the Vanari Sentinels. 10 of them cost 140 points for a max unit size of 20. They have 1 wound, a 5+ save, bravery 6, movement 6. Their melee attacks, we start with that, yes, have 1-inch range, 1 attack, champion again has 2, hit on 3s, wound on 4s, -1 rend for the champion and 1 damage, as usual. The missile weapon, the bows in this instance, have 2 profiles. The high arc shots have a range of 30 inches, hit on 4s, wound on 4s, with no rend and 1 damage. Or they can choose to shoot with the aimed shots, with 18 inches range, hit on 3s, wound on 4s, rend -1 with 1 damage. The special rule for the unit is you can pick an enemy unit within 30 inches of the unit champion that isn't visible, so they're hiding from you. But you can attack as if they were visible with the long range profile, ergo the high arc profile. The weapon special rule and spell is just like with the wardens. If you didn't know, the sentinels and the dawnriders aren't exactly Battleline units. The only real Battleline unit in this battle tome are the wardens. But you can make the sentinels and the dawnriders a Battleline unit if you have at least 1 unit of wardens for another unit of sentinels or dawnriders. An example, if you have 1 unit of all 3 of them, you have 2 Battleline units and 1 other unit. If you have 2 units of wardens, your sentinels and the dawnriders count as Battleline as well. In addition, the Vanari units have a special rule, a shining company. If your unit is set up and if the base of each model in the unit is touching the base of 2 or more models, the unit becomes a shining company. The unit remains a shining company until, after finishing a move, the base of each model in the unit is no longer touching the bases of 2 or more other models from the same unit. So basically you have to touch at least 2 other models and you're good, because the enemy gets a -1 to hit rolls for attacks that goes against one of your shining companies. The downside is you cannot run or charge, and the models in the unit can only move 1 inch when they pile in. So you have this rather large block of wardens really compressed into a small line, so you cannot screen your heroes as well as with other units. So with these 3 choices we cover everything. We have our close combat spearmen, we have our long range bowmen with the sentinels, and we have our cavalry for Battleline units. That's great and awesome, I love it. If you like this short overview, please subscribe, and if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. And tomorrow we're gonna talk about our mountainous units. To be specific, the Alarith Stone Guard and the Spirit of the Mountain. Please stay fantastic and we will see us again. Bye bye.